Hey everybody, Dark Hour 717 here, and thank you for all the support that you guys have given us. I'm out here on Her L3, and I'm going to be working on a few different things today. But one thing that was asked of me a couple times off of the last video was how am I breaking the larger Quantanium boulders? In 311, we saw, or at least I saw, boulders that were 17, 20% and such, and they were difficult, but I learned how to break them. And in 312 here, I'm seeing things as large as 35, 40, and even up to 50%, which was very difficult. I don't think I succeeded in breaking that one, but I think the biggest I've done is about 43%. So I decided that I was going to go ahead and put this together off of some of my other mining clips from yesterday. Right now I am working on filling the cat completely with Quantanium and as little other products as possible to see what kind of profits I can net. Unfortunately, with the 312 patch that came out yesterday, I lost multiple refinery jobs as well as multiple components that I did have to replace. So I'm pretty broke right now. So I'll be working on that though later today. So what we're going to take a look at is a over 30% Quantanium rock, how I go about breaking it, and hopefully my method that I use will help you if you have any questions or anything. Everybody has their own way, and my way is not the only way. Everybody just has to look for a way that works best for them and makes them comfortable. But hopefully this will give you some pointers to help you find a way to break those rocks and get the money that it can give you. So don't forget, hit the subscribe and the like button, and also follow on Twitch. We do stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, 7 p.m. But also check out Amarok'sFang.org. We are a growing org, and we accept all applicants. And anybody that joins the org is welcome to join in on the stream. Make sure you grab that Discord address and join the Discord as well so that you can communicate with us while we're streaming. All right, hope you find this helpful. Thank you for joining me, and we will see you soon. Okay, so the first thing that I typically do with my Prospector is I make sure I have the Helix 1 mining laser. That seems to be the one I'm most comfortable with and the one that works best for me. This is available at any of the mining services at the CRUs or any other refinery, as well as I think you can still get it at Dumpers Depot on Olisar. But then I also use all these sub-item slots, which are your consumables. What I equip for my consumables is I do the Surge, and then I equip the Brant consumable twice. Those are the two that I use the most and the ones that I find most useful. And you'll see in the video here how I utilize those, and it assists in breaking the rock. Now, again, this is not a foolproof method of doing this. Sometimes it takes more than one attempt. But typically, it works out well for me. I'm still learning, so I still make mistakes. I destroy things, I get blown up. But a lot of times, this is actually the best way for me to get the bigger rocks broken so I can get the money that they offer through the refinery. All right, so we're going to head on out and take a look at the rock that I broke and see if this can help you out. Okay, so you can see here what I found was a rock with 34.51% Quantanium, and we're gonna just move up to here, get the laser on it, and there we released the Surge. That shot the gauge up close to the green, and then we immediately released the Brant consumable, give us that steady concentrated stream. Now with 311 you could just pretty much point and click with very little interaction to work the gauge and try to get to its breaking point. With 312, at least these larger rocks, and especially Quantanium, it actually has a weak point or multiple weak points. So you have to do a little more interaction, moving around, looking for that reaction in the gauge to find areas where you get more climbing in the gauge than falling. Now the benefit with the Brant is that it does give you, I believe, about 1.5 minutes of this steady concentrated stream. And you'll see that I move the laser around trying to find an area where it reacts and climbs up just like there, and you'll see I'll concentrate in that area, trying to move it very slightly in different directions, looking for that gauge to continue to go up. And you'll see that there is a timer on your consumable on the left side of the HUD that tells you how much time is left in that consumable's use. And we'll move around the rock here, just looking for one of those weak points. And right now we're just on the standard laser, and you'll see here shortly that I do another surge consumable to try and get it up. You have to be careful with the surge, because if you have too much energy built up in the gauge, it can push you into the red, and even to a point that it's not recoverable. There's our surge. You'll see that gauge jumps up all the way into the green. I hit the brant and try to keep it in there, but have a little difficulty. And there I go into the red. What I'll do at times when I get too far into the red and it seems like I won't be able to recover, I'll turn the laser off and let it cool down until it's at a point where I can resume mining without risk of destroying the rock. This is going to be a lengthier video because I left the entire process of breaking down this rock in so that you can see the total time that it took me to complete this from start to finish. Overall, the time length it took me to find the rock was about 10-15 minutes from the time that I left the station and arrived on her L3. You can see there the gauge for the red went all the way down. We've got about 22 seconds left on this consumable, and just trying to find that weak spot to get it back up there in the green. And there we are back on our normal mining laser again. Now, some people do like to overclock their laser. I don't personally, because I find it a little tougher to control the stability and the movement of the gauge. But if you find that that's helpful for you, then definitely by all means do that. I didn't have much luck with it. There we are, we're getting movement, and I energize the brant again to get that fine control in an attempt to try and get it to move up into that green section. You gotta have a lot of patience with these larger rocks because they do take time. But the payoff is definitely well worth the amount of time that you put into them. That's actually a glitch with my Prospector. Sometimes it likes to start moving forward on its own for no reason. And there we are back on the normal laser again. We'll try to find that weak spot. And even once you find that weak spot again, it's not a just stop there and let go. There goes our surge. And that gets us up into the green. Once you find that weak spot, you still have to adjust slightly in different directions to keep it going in the direction you want it to go. I find that sometimes I'll rotate the ship just to keep that gauge in a better viewing area. As you can see, I'm almost getting to a critical point here, which the best thing to do is just back off and let it come down. I'll try to use the brand to keep the gauge as close to the green as possible while it's cooling down. Trick is to try, and when you crack this, that there's little to no red whatsoever, because the more red you have in there, the more catastrophic the braking is. Pieces can go flying off in several different directions. They can affect the amount of ore that is in the rock when you go to collect it. Once you finish breaking it all down, pieces can even fly off and hit your ship and destroy it. We're just on the regular laser here. Found a good spot to keep it in the green. And there we go. We had some red in there, so we get a little bit more of a violent braking. Now the trick here is that the surge is a great consumable to use for the initial breaking of the rock, but you do not want to use it on the smaller pieces once it's broken. That's one of the reasons why I put 2 slots for the Brant consumables. So when I get items like this one here, that's a smaller piece, 100% Quantanium, you get a very small sliver of green to break that down further, and the Brant consumable will give you that fine control to keep it in that green without getting it too out of control. Whenever I go back to the station, I always re-equip all 3 slots with fresh consumables so that I have those multiple uses of them once I find another rock. There we go. And on a rock like this that's 30+% or even 25% or higher, I'll collect each of the ores after breaking it down to its final point. That way nothing can possibly go wrong with, losing track of where they go off to, and I don't miss out on any. You'll notice here that once we start collecting this, there seems to be a little bit of a glitch in collecting that. Sometimes it makes you wait until the piece has finally stopped moving. Other times I find I have to move around a little bit until it actually starts pulling in the ore. You'll notice in the right it lists our quantities coming in. This is a near 100% piece of Quantanium. It's going to give you your list in the top right of inert and whatever other ores that you're pulling in. And we'll get each of these pieces here. Now here you'll see that it came up with the gauge on the right for volatile cargo detected, gives you its stability percentage, and it gives you a timer now. So when you get things like Quantanium that are going to go critical, you can see how much time you have left before it kills you. And as you can see, it gives us just over 14 minutes there to grab whatever else we need to grab and get back to the station and get it offloaded. There, I got a little too close to it. It jumped too fast. So we'll just use the Brant to have a fine control while that red meter comes down. Yeah, we had a little bit of red in there, so it got a little spread out. And we'll get all these pieces here. Me personally, I don't tend to keep an eye on the clock as much as I probably should, but I limit my mining to going from HER-L3 to get the rocks back to CRUL1. Usually that gives me plenty of time to get everything that I need and get back to the refinery and get it offloaded. It's a short quantum distance and usually a quick trip into the pad once I get there. And again, I wanted to leave the entire process on here so that you can see the total time it takes me to get everything that I need. And of course, it is not perfect. I make actually a couple of mistakes in here, overcharging rocks and things such as that. As you can see, I turned the laser off there to bring it down some to keep it from overcharging. I think at this point when I was filming this one, it was probably about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and I think the need for sleep was finally getting to me. So sometimes it's just best to back away and take a break from that piece of the rock if you're finding you're getting tired or just need to get a quick breather. Let it cool down and then come back to it again. So we'll go in and give this one a second shot. That right there occasionally does happen. I would assume that's desync or lag in the system, but you can go from, I've gone from all the way at the bottom of the gauge to, in a split second, going to the top of the red. It occasionally happens, yeah. Just have to deal with it, and sometimes you have a loss because of it. So I'm just going to top off the Prospector there with some borays or whatever that is, and now we're back here.
Hi, good to have you back.
And off that 134% Quantanium rock, I've got 130,000. All right. Well, I hope that video helped you out and how I broke that rock, and you can use it so that you can find a way that's most comfortable for you. Don't forget, hit the subscribe and the like, and also follow us on Twitch. And please feel free to post any questions or comments. Keep an eye out for our new contest and drawing that will be coming over the month of January. Between January 1st and January 31st, you can get entered into a drawing for a free ship. We're either going to be doing the Nomad or possibly the Talon. Feel free to throw your vote in the comments below, and those will be tallied up to see what the winning ship is. And on February 1st, we will give that away to one follower or subscriber. For entries, either follow on Twitch during that time frame or comment, subscribe and comment on any of the videos on my page between that time frame, and then we will draw and award that on February 1st. Thank you very much again for joining us. Hit that subscribe and like, and everybody have a wonderful holiday, and hope everybody is safe and happy.